The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your coffee time crew.
Coffee time with Blind United. We just got me and Pedro today. So good morning, Pedro.
Good morning, Brittany. Good morning. How you doing?
All right. Good. Guess what? We have one interest group for today. We have JAWS training with Andrew Del Castillo, and that is at 6:00 PlayStation time. So get your JAWS computer out, and that class is really good. Andy is really good at what he does. He works at DPI as an assistive technology trainer. He doesn't just do JAWS. He does JAWS, NVDA, Zoom text, voiceover, Android. Like if you have a question about anything, Andy will probably know the answer to it. He's very, very smart. So come check us out. And hey, Pedro, so what articles do we have today?
We got a couple, but yes, Andy does do a good class. He does other subjects besides JAWS, but that's what he usually sticks on. And starting off, we have breaking news on these Israel and Hamas conflict that they got going. So let's check that out, and we talk about it in the other side.
Today on Coffee Time, a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict. A step towards peace? After 15 months of relentless conflict, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has brought a momentary halt to hostilities. Initiated on January 19, 2025, at 8:30 a.m. local time, this fragile truce is the result of intense negotiations led by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt. Key highlights of the ceasefire: hostage and prisoner exchange. The ceasefire began with a humanitarian exchange. Hamas released 3 Israeli hostages, Emily Damari, Romy Gonen, and Doron Steinbrecher. In return, Israel freed 90 Palestinian prisoners, including women and teenagers. This carefully coordinated exchange was overseen by the International Committee of the Red Cross. Humanitarian aid efforts. With the ceasefire in place, humanitarian aid has surged into Gaza. The United Nations and partner organizations are working tirelessly to deliver essential supplies like food, water, and medical aid to the war-torn region, addressing the dire needs of its residents. Challenges to stability. While the ceasefire offers a glimmer of hope, underlying tensions and sporadic violence threaten its longevity. Political strains in Israel. Far-right politician Bezalel Smotrich has voiced sharp criticism of the truce, warning of political upheaval if military actions are not resumed after the initial phase. Reports of violence. Despite the ceasefire, reports from Rafah indicate breaches, with at least 3 Palestinians killed and 8 injured by Israeli gunfire. These incidents highlight the fragile nature of the truce. Global reaction. The international community has expressed cautious optimism about the ceasefire. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres emphasized the need for ongoing efforts to achieve lasting peace, stressing that de-escalation alone is not enough to resolve deeply rooted issues. What's next? The ceasefire is a critical step, but will it hold? The path to lasting peace requires sustained diplomatic efforts, trust building, and addressing long-standing grievances. Coffee Time crew, what are your thoughts on this ceasefire? Is it a genuine step towards peace, or just a temporary reprieve?
I think it's just temporary. I mean, I hope that, they have peace, but I just don't see that happening. Like the article said, it's a lot of trust and a lot of just things that have happened over the years that it's going to take a lot to get through. It's just, I
Yes.
don't know.
Yes, and other times and past conflicts. This is an ongoing conflict, honestly, but in other times, ceasefires don't have not held up. You do have Israel's leadership calling for the ceasefire, well, to go back into having their army go back into what they were doing after initial steps are done, after the initial step, meaning after the one step is done, they want to go back to doing their military, whatever they were doing. I don't want to be too blunt about it, but the numbers don't lie. The numbers show, uh, the unstableness that has been going down on that region, and how kids have didn't have anesthetics, like anesthesia. Some, it's some cruel stuff that's happening over there. And it's sad that the it always becomes citizens and the public and innocent people that end up um like paying the price, get being victims on both
No,
sides.
I agree with you, Pedro. The innocent people don't deserve this. The kids and the people that are just trying to live. They're just trying to feed their families and, whatever. And we have some comments. Mean Daily said good morning, and God First said good morning. So good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys. Yes, and it's been, I hope they are able to do something. And let me start off by saying, yes, Hamas are terrorists. you know I'm just on the side of the innocent kids and women that are being killed, and men and families being destroyed, and them not able to get aid. They've been aid blockades for a long time. There was no aid being passed there. You hear the United States wants to give aid, but you're giving them weapons. Don't you have leverage? If they have a aid blockade and not letting any aid go in, or one truck or two, because they're just saying they're not letting them in. Our government has leverage. Our government has so much leverage on different fronts in different countries and different problems that we're having. They do have leverage. They just do not wish to use it, in my opinion. Also, with our leadership cutting back on funding, you know, or cutting back weapons and telling them, look, you need to do it better. But there was a clip of Biden talking about his last meeting with Ned and Yahoo, and he says something like, within these words, well, you guys did it. You guys did it in the 1940s, you know, and this is what Biden said in the interview. And he said within those lines, he said something similar to that. Um, that shows you the mentality of that person where he's at in this conflict. But or to equate 2024 with 1940 something, it's a disconnect. And like it gives you the mindset of that person Netanyahu. I'm basing this off of what Biden has said on his interview. Um, those train showed. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the. My tongue is tongue twisted, guys. But those military assets and stuff from Israel, they're trained. They train in for these combat situations, and for them to be, oh, it was a mistake, or to put it out in the media like that, it's it's um it's uncalled for. It's you're a trained professional. You've been trained in the military, and you can handle on this type of situation. And we have videos. There's been videos online, if you've been online, of different army soldiers from Israel laughing at shooting at people and things like that. So and reports of where they're holding them in camps of grape and other things like that, you know, in those campsites. So it's sad that it needs to come down to that. You know, I believe that people should be free. They should come to an agreement, even if it's a change of government for the Palestine, but they have the right to, be there, and have their land.
No, I mean Palestine has just as much right as Israel does their people. And Katie commented, she said good morning, and she said that her prayers go out to Israel and Palestine, and she doesn't trust Trump to, keep the peace and help with this ceasefire. And I agree with her 100%.
Well, yes, I agree with y'all ladies too. Um, with his speeches and the way he's been phrasing and talking, he's basically giving them signs to hurry up and finish. He ain't gonna have no get backs from Trump. Trump was the one that actually moved the embassy to Jerusalem, and called it the capital of Israel or something like that. I might be having some of those things wrong, but I remember he did move the embassy, and there was a big lashback from Palestine and other religious groups and stuff like that. Because that's like the Holy Land, and you have several holy sites there. So there has to come to an agreement. They have to have a dual state or something, but not a tier state that one citizen is better than the other or nothing like that. Something needs to happen. Us as a leader in the world, and then also we call our friend Israel, and that's our friend, an ally. So that ally should consider our opinion, and if we're providing help, logistics, or whatever type of military assistance or funding we're providing should come with ties, you know. But we do have a strong lobby in Washington, and the APAC lobby is one of the most powerful lobbies ever. And that's when I think this TikTok ban actually uh went down, was because of the narrative not being controlled, you know. And if it was to sell it off, I know this is a whole different subject, but if they would have sold it off, wouldn't you give them enough time to prepare and get other companies to estimate and prepare and all this? Not just rush it through like it was rushed through. I've been seeing about the bill that was brought up. AOC has something to say about it also. And she said it was rushed within 2 or 3 weeks in the House. This bill, she says that is real quick to come to the floor. But who who lobbies? Who puts money in our politicians' pockets? And with some of the report and some of the what's in the bill, I've been seeing videos that break down the stuff, and it's about their narrative. Um, I know it went offline for a bit, came back on, but we don't know what's gonna happen in the future with that. But yes, within that platform, you have a lot of people that sympathize with the Palestinian people, and they even a lot of young folks in our colleges, but they don't sympathize with Hamas. They sympathize with the people that's getting hurt. I do sympathize with the casualties that Israel has acquired from that Hamas attack. And I feel bad for them families and those victims, because they were just living their lives also like the Palestinian people want to also do. I know I've been ranting. Any comments, Britt? Yeah, but it's a a touchy it's a touchy subject, and I hope they able to hold this agreement down, release the hostages, because you know you know to and I hate to do it, to put it in this way, but such, like, thinking as a military, um in the deal how it's been placed, you can't just have one side say, well, give up the hostages so we could go in there 2 weeks later, and it doesn't make sense in a military standpoint. So it's been taking long to get these hostages out, and it's sad. And I you know it should have not even gone down like that. But yeah, any thoughts, Britt? I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh no, I can hear you. I'm just gonna say that the opinions of Blind United that do not represent Blind United. These are our opinions. I know this is a touchy subject. I know that a lot of college students do, empathize and sympathize with Israel, not Israel, with Palestine, and a lot of people don't like Netanyahu. He is kind of a bully,
Hmm.
honestly, and I think that he shouldn't be. And these people are just people. Palestine is their home, and they deserve peace. Like, that's,
Yes.
and I agree, like, with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It shouldn't be rushed. They should not have rushed this through. It should not have been done that way, but at the end of the day, we know that lobbyists are going to lobby, so it is what it is.
Yes, yes. Yes, and yet Netanyahu does give you those vibes that he's a like a bully. Also, I know he, in reportings and different reportings I've been reading, he was gonna hit with a corruption lawsuit or something like that. So, and then plus a lot of people in Israel, I think he has a low approval rating also over there and in Israel. So I think he wanted to keep this going on, and so he won't be really pushed out, and I think people already had it with him, but you know with the new upcoming administration, who knows how this is going. I think it's going to go on what how Netanyahu wants it to go, because they've been having meetings, him and Trump, before even the like a few days ago. I think it was this month they had a meeting. So they're already talking about all that. It's so in that note, any comments before I cut to break, Britt?
No, you can cut to the break. If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
You need assistance with iOS? Or are you curious what iOS is? Perhaps you're seeking tips and tricks on how to use JAWS on your Windows machine? Or maybe you would like to participate in our popular support group led by Dominic? Or maybe join us for movie nights on Friday, where we watch and discuss the movie of the night? For more information, please email us at info@blindunited.org. Once again, that's info@blindunited.org. You can also follow us on Facebook for real-time updates and community interactions. We look forward to connecting with you.
Yep, guys. And once again, we do have one interest groups, and that is tips and tricks with Andrew Castillo. So check that out today. If you're in our email list, you got that reminder in your email. Yep. So today is Taco Tuesday, guys. I'm gonna try to get me some tacos later on. Some type of tacos.
All right, all right. Sounds good. Do your kids like tacos?
Yeah.
Well, who
The
doesn't
hard
like
shells. They
tacos? Like
love hard
who?
shell tacos.
Okay, all right. Well, we don't have any comments, but yeah, no.
Yeah. So I know we still been over here fighting these winds, with these fires, and we still have some red flag warnings and other things like that. So we're gonna get into an article and check that out. Let's see what are the latest updates. Let's check this out.
Today on Coffee Time, battling fire and wind in Southern California. Southern California is grappling with a dangerous combination of strong Santa Ana winds and active wildfires as of January 20th, 2025. The powerful winds, with gusts reaching up to 100 miles per hour in mountainous regions, are fueling the destructive Palisades and Eaton Fires, complicating firefighting efforts and endangering communities. Fire and wind, a dangerous duo. The ongoing wildfires have devastated Southern California, with the winds intensifying the crisis. Fire spread. The Palisades fire has scorched over 23,000 acres, while the Eaton fire has burned approximately 14,000 acres. These winds are driving flames across large areas, creating unpredictable fire behavior and challenging containment. Structural losses. Together, the fires have destroyed over 14,000 structures since January 7th, leaving thousands of residents displaced. Air quality crisis. Smoke from the fires combined with dust carried by the winds has significantly worsened air quality, posing health risks to those in the region. Progress and challenges in containment. Despite the adverse conditions, firefighters are making headway. Palisades fire, now 56% contained, though strong winds are slowing progress. Eaton fire, currently 81% contained, with ongoing efforts focused on protecting vulnerable communities. Safety first. Precautions for residents. With critical fire weather conditions persisting, authorities are urging residents to take proactive measures. Evacuations. Communities in high-risk zones are under evacuation warnings, and residents are advised to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Fire prevention. Avoid activities that could spark a fire, such as outdoor grilling, burning debris, or using equipment that generates heat or sparks. Stay informed. Keep updated with alerts from the National Weather Service and local emergency services for real-time information. A time for vigilance. Southern Californians face a challenging battle against nature as firefighters, emergency responders, and residents work together to mitigate the destruction. The situation remains dynamic, requiring heightened vigilance and adherence to safety protocols to protect lives and property. Coffee Time crew, how can communities better prepare for and respond to extreme weather and fire conditions? Join the conversation as we discuss the importance of disaster readiness and resilience.
Yeah. A lot of people has been moved and misplaced due to the fires. It started back in January 6th. Some movie stars also lost their homes, elderly people, and from what I remember, there were 84,000 people misplaced and 86,000 more on possible evacuation uh, um, warnings for evacuation. So it's still ongoing. You have a lot of people that are not able to go back to their homes. A lot of people lost their homes. 23,000 acres in the Palisades alone. So that's a lot of fire, over estimated between 250 or $275 billion of damage. Also, the air quality has man, I've been getting the A lady notifications about the air quality. My Apple Watch has been warning me about air quality. But even before the fires, it's been warning me about air quality. So we need to fix our air quality, and the way we fight and think about these weather disasters, because it's not only in the West Coast right now in California, it's also in Texas. They're over there on Texas, and they having heavy snow. So shout out to the ones in Texas and the on the East Coast too. You know, right here I just noticed the winds picking up last night, and we're over there where Ed's at. That's where they were gonna be picking up. That's San Bernardino County. Um,
No, the winds are real bad over there where Ed lives. I mean, they lose electricity a lot because a lot of times, the winds are so bad that power lines are knocked down, or they just have to shut the electricity off for whatever reason. But we have some comments. God First said that she read somewhere that by 2028, LA is supposed to be a smart city, and she also said that thoughts and prayers go out to LA. George said, "Good morning, my blind united family. Good morning, George. Where is you?"
Good morning, George. Good morning, Godfrey. And yes, they are talking about the what they're calling it LA 2.0. But if it's gonna be a smart city, guys, put these power lines underground. Come on. What is it to it? I know it does cost money, you know, but is money more important than people's lives, people's livelihoods, and their homes? A lot of people lost everything. A lot of senior citizens lost everything what they've been working for, and some might not be able to rebuild. And
A
then,
lot of them are probably not going to be able to rebuild, and a lot of these insurance companies probably aren't going to give people the money that they need to rebuild. And Katie Taylor commented, she said that it's important to have a disaster plan, and just know what you're going to do in case of an emergency. And I agree, I totally agree with that. And Tisha said, "Hi, Pedro." So hey, Tisha.
hey, Tisha, yes, yeah, it's good to be prepared. Have all your important documents in a briefcase or a fire case that has a lock. Have your important some money in there. Have something set up so you could just pick up and go. Because it could be not just a fire. It could be an earthquake. It could be one of them tornadoes. With these weather uh anomalies that we're experiencing, because we're starting to have crazy wind out here too, and you hear about the crazy rain that happened just a year or two ago. So so it's it's been crazy, and I know the leadership in California, like Gavin Newsom, they've been helping, and the mayor too. But they're kind of like the elite Californians, you could kind of say, and from the Democrat Party, both of them. So them cutting the budget and all that, so that kind of looks a little negative on them. But it's been a dry season. It's not their fault. I believe, honestly, and I know the article did say e- equipment like heaters or any like little fire sparks could have set this blaze off. But I truly believe it was the power lines, because they were emphasizing on rolling these blackouts. They knew this was gonna happen. And then we did have um some folks that are a few screws loose, then a few screw loose in their head, trying to spark another fire and keep it going. Like, you know I don't know the mentality of those type of type of people. I hope they get caught. And then you have these home buyers that come and say, "Oh, I want to help you rebuild. I want to help you rebuild." But they're just coming to offer you a offer for your land because they want to get in. And what they want to get in into is LA 2.0, the smart city of the future, you know? And they try to take advantage, you know. And and then you have people within our leadership in Washington talking about that we have weather weapons that could start fire, could do this and could do that. And, you know, if we had that, why would we set our own city on fire? I don't understand how some of our leadership could get away with these thoughts about
I
some.
mean, a lot of them are conspiracy theorists. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she believes in space lasers and weather machines and QAnon, and I mean, she's crazy. A lot of these people are crazy, and I guess they're conspiracy theorists. You know, they're thinking, oh well, you know, they started the fires, and then they could burn the city down, and then the rich can rebuild it, and whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't know what people's logic is. It's crazy. There's some far out there things that people believe.
And like I was saying about even TikTok, and she has all these claims. Present the evidence. You're in government. I want to see. Just like the TikTok ban. Present the evidence that they are taking our data. Present our evidence. Where I want to see the report. Don't just be like, take my word on it. We can't do that. We have leadership. We have even doctors, scientists lie for money. Remember back in the 50s and 40s, cigarettes are good for you. Even I have a day, and that was a doctor talking in that commercial. So we got to remember that they need to present this evidence, even with these tinfoil conspiracies that this leader MTG be putting out.
Yeah,
You know,
no, have evidence. Definitely. I think that this TikTok ban was a hoax, though. I mean, it seems like, okay, they were going to ban it, it went dark, and then all of a sudden now it's back, you know? Like, it just seems like it was a gimmick to get us focused on other things so that we're not focusing on what they're doing, you know,
mm,
behind the scenes.
behind the scenes or overseas. Um, yes, it could be a ploy. And some people have the angle that Biden saw they was unpopular, so he's like, let me try to reinstate it all late, so it could look positive on him and a little bit about his legacy. Because okay, you have his legacy, and Biden has done a lot. He brought jobs back. He did the Chips Act. He did the he brought he brought a lot of things back. He started a lot. He put into the infrastructure. Also, they started building bridges. They started doing projects in different states. Even some Republicans took credit, even though it was Biden and they voted against it, the Republicans, and was like, yes, 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 we're bringing you back. But, you know, he has done good. But he also has negative marks, in my opinion, like negative things he's done. One is letting Netanyahu run over him and in this conflict in the Middle East with Israel and Biden just like I'm working with them, but I only could do so much. I can't. I don't have no type of leverage. Kind of making it seem, even though we're supplying weapons and money, and there's our leverage there. Um, so he may be looked at maybe in the future, and he may be slightly worried about his legacy and how the future is going to see him, because the future is our young crowd, it's our youngsters.
No, I get that. I mean, okay, do I agree with everything that Biden and Kamala did? No, but I understand that they're not perfect. They're
Hmm.
humans. They're only two people. And you got to remember there's the Senate, there's the House, there's the Supreme Court. Like, they're not the only ones making the big decisions, but I get the whole legacy thing, but it just sucks because Biden inherited a really crappy situation. I mean, the
Yeah,
economy was crappy, COVID. I mean, he fixed a
turned
lot
it
of
around.
things, but he turned around a lot of things, but I could see the average American person feeling like he didn't because, I mean, we're all struggling. Food is expensive, gas is expensive. If you have a mortgage, your interest rate is probably high, your mortgage is probably high. So I get the average person feeling that Biden didn't do enough. And I get that, I see both sides to it, but I don't know. I don't see Trump doing any better personally, but we'll have to see. But it sucks because I don't think Biden is going to have a great of a legacy as he should have. And we should give him more credit than we are giving him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, and that's true. He has done stuff, that are positive for the country. A lot. He turned it around after obtaining the whole mess of the C-19, and and the inflation going up. Also, we had companies that wanted to charge more because they knew they could blame it on inflation. There was a lot of that happening. We also have something called shrinkflation that was happening. So there's a lot of aspects of that. And Biden, yeah, he can't control all that.
Yeah,
But
and we got to remember there's no black or white. There's a lot of gray area. There's just a lot that's going on. And Katie Taylor commented, she said that we have these politicians who are dangerous, and I agree. We all really need to focus on what these politicians are doing. They work for us. We need to know what they're voting for, what their stances are on things. Remember,
mhm,
these people work for us, and it's not just the president. I think that we put a lot of stock into the president, but it's your mayors, it's your senators, it's your little city council people, it's your dog
congressman.
catcher, whatever. Get involved and know what's going on in government. It's important.
Yes, yes, it is important. And 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 when it came to the fires, Biden did stepped up to provide some aid. I know Gavin Newsom um and other organizations stepped up to put in money. Um, there was a meme online. I don't know if you've seen the meme about a list of the billionaires that put in money, and the only one was Taylor Swift.
Wow, that's crazy. Elon Musk didn't put in any money. I would have thought he would, as concerned as he is
This
for
the state
America.
yeah, the state America, where he calls home, where he built his fortune, where he built his company over here in California and flourished over here in San Francisco. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Our state is a special state. We breed. You know what I mean? We breed these companies. We
Don't we have the third largest economy in the world? Not the country, the
the
world. Like, that's
world.
the thing that people
Hmm.
need to understand too. California, we pay a lot of taxes. We support the rest of the country. How are you not going to help us through this tragedy?
Yes, yes, and how uh uh um what is it what is it Mega Mike something Mega Mike, they were telling him, are you gonna withhold aid or on California? And he was saying, well, I'm not saying we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be in the conversation, but I'm not saying we are or not. But to have, I'm not gonna give you aid in your time of emergency. You don't hear California saying that. In California, yeah, we're the biggest we got the biggest GDP. So, you know, imagine if we would say that. And some of these red states have tornadoes, um snowstorms, so it's a country effort. It's our home effort to think
And
about
you
it.
would think,
Hmm.
that these Republicans or these red states or whoever, right, would go, there are Republicans that live in California. This is not just a
Mm-hmm.
Republican Democrat. There are Republicans, Democrats, non-part, whatever.
We
Just
have a lot
like
of
these are just
Republicans here.
people. These are people. They deserve help.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how you feel about Newsom, regardless of how you feel about Karen Bass, like, what about the people who are struggling? They didn't ask for this.
Yeah, some subjects shouldn't be politicized. Some things should remain neutral, especially like in emergencies like that, because and then you're like, well, I'm not gonna do this for you. No, I'm not gonna do this for. And then what? We're gonna be divided, and I feel like there's a lot of division going on, and you know, and in tragic times, and that folks are going through something. It shouldn't be politicized or anything like that. Um, any comments before we cut to the break, Britt?
Yeah, God First said, yes, there's 183 billionaires that live in California alone. Monica said, good morning. And yep, that's what we got.
And yeah, we do have a lot of billionaires here and millionaires. Our state is a special state. We breed that. We breed people like that. People can make it here. So, you know, to have somebody, for example, Elon Musk, to like to stifle freedom of speech, likes to play on things, play on people's emotion, likes to um he's only for his money. He's ready to cut social programs but not ready to cut Pentagon spending and none of his contract. But in that note, we
We
will
have
be
a comment. Katie
okay.
Taylor said the billionaires are all about bigger and more, and I agree. And I agree about Elon Musk. I mean, this guy wants to censor speech, and he wants to cut all these programs, but yet he has. Do you know how many government contracts this man has?
A
Do
lot.
you know?
He has a lot. I don't know exactly, but
Exactly. He has a lot, but he doesn't want to cut any of the stuff that he's doing, but he wants to cut all this other stuff, and that's not right.
yeah, he has millions and millions or even billions of dollars in contracts. Remember, we use him to go to outer space with this SpaceX rocket. Um, we use his Starlinks, and he wants to actually start providing for Russia, start providing for China. I think that's why he kind of is enveloped in the government. He tried to do that over there in England, I think, in London. I mean, and they clowned him, And then the other day, when in the inauguration, he did a salute, a very disliked salute. A lot of people know this salute. It's Germany type salute from the 1940s. So I'm not really gonna say so much about it.
No, I mean, and then you gotta, I mean, this is just my opinion. It does not represent Blind United, but you gotta remember this man grew up in South Africa apartheid, and if you know, you know. So enjoy the commercials, y'all.
On that note, let's go.
Hustling jingles, $10 a shot. Birthday beats and holiday knocks. Gotcha covered for the ones you love. Personalized joy like a custom glove. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford. Got a catchy tune for your babe. Poppin' beats like dreams we crave. For Mama's Day or Papa's cheer, let's make smiles from ear to ear. Get your jingle hot and fresh. Info at blindunited.org. $10 only, no more, no less. We make memories you can't afford.
Do you need to talk? Are you struggling with your mental health? Are you struggling with substance abuse issues? Call the Orange County NAMI Warm Line. That number is 877-910-9276. That number again is 877-910-9276. 9276.
All right, all right, all right. Once again, that's the warm line. It's not the crisis line.
The
If you need,
crisis line is 988, or you can also text 741-741 if you need that. But the warm line is just for, if you need to talk, if you're dealing with some substance issues, some family issues. It's just a warm line. It's not an emergency line.
yeah. So if you need someone to talk, you need to vent, you're upset, just you need someone to listen, to hear you out. That's the warm line. So you could just, you know, have someone to talk to. Any comments before we get into the next article by any chance, Brett?
No, not yet.
Okay, okay. So we're gonna be getting into this one, and this one is about everyday life people. People, guys. People could surprise you, and how they put some grassroots together to help people in need. So let's take a listen in this article.
Today on Coffee Time, Grassroots Resilience, how everyday Californians are supporting wildfire recovery. In the aftermath of Southern California's devastating wildfires, communities are demonstrating incredible resilience and compassion. From donation drives to volunteer firefighting support, everyday citizens are stepping up to aid recovery efforts, showcasing the power of collective action. Volunteer efforts making a difference. Relief drives and supplies. Californians have organized donation drives for food, water, clothing, and hygiene kits. Community centers and businesses have become hubs for gathering and distributing essential supplies, while neighbors in cities like Pasadena and Malibu are creating care packages for displaced families. Temporary shelters. Residents are opening their homes to evacuees and their pets. Platforms like Airbnb have joined the cause, offering free or discounted stays to those affected by the fires. Grassroots fundraising initiatives. Crowdfunding campaigns. GoFundMe pages are being launched to assist families who've lost their homes, while local schools and youth groups are organizing bake sales and charity events to collect funds. Business contributions. Small businesses are providing free meals to evacuees and first responders. Coffee shops and restaurants in impacted areas are donating a portion of their profits to wildfire relief. Supporting firefighters and animals. Aid for firefighters. Volunteers are delivering meals, hydration, and supplies like gloves and socks to firefighters on the front lines, ensuring they have what they need to continue their efforts. Animal rescue efforts. Citizens are collaborating with shelters to evacuate and care for animals, fostering pets until their owners can return home. Emotional and environmental recovery. Emotional support. Community groups are using platforms like Nextdoor and Facebook to coordinate welfare checks and provide emotional assistance for evacuees navigating aid applications. Environmental restoration. Volunteers are organizing debris cleanup and planning replanting drives to rehabilitate scorched landscapes and restore the environment. A testament to community strength. Across California, stories of unity and hope shine through the darkness. From children donating their allowances to neighbors banding together for recovery, these efforts reflect the unwavering spirit of Californians. In times of adversity, the compassion and determination of everyday people play a vital role in rebuilding lives and landscapes. Coffee Time crew, what are your thoughts on how grassroots efforts can lead the way in disaster recovery? Let's discuss the power of community resilience.
Wow, this gives me faith in humanity, and I know that there are a lot of good people, and these are our neighbors. I've lived in California my whole life. These people are all that I know. A lot of the people in the Altadena fire, I know me and my family, we donated like waters and sanitary napkins and just toiletries, toothbrushes, toothpaste, all types of different things, because these people did not ask for this. I will keep reiterating that, so, and I know Pedro also donated some things. I think that there are a lot of people who just want to help their fellow man out, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, I have faith in people and how how they get together and show love to their neighbors and help out in this time of crisis, including with the firemen that were fighting this fire. They go 12-hour shifts per fireman and things like that. So it could get it could get really hard, So providing food, providing clothing and gloves and socks because, man, the weather out there, you could feel it through your jeans, the cold and the wind. You could feel the wind. And that wind is really chilly, and and having people to drop off different things because a lot of people lost their homes. I know that the Rose Bowl, it was full. They stopped accepting donations, but they had local schools around accepting locations. They had so much supplies. People were coming with U-Haul full of supplies. Me and Monica went and dropped off supplies. Her and her family put things together for the firefighters, and we went to get them supplies and some food and things like that, so they could get be good going back and fighting these fires. You know. And man, some people that we know lost their homes and stuff like that, and it's sad. You know, and it's a once in a blue moon type of wind.
Yeah, the
Wind.
winds are like 100 miles per hour. And we have a comment. Katie said that it's amazing that people are coming together to help each other, communities, and she wishes that we wouldn't just help each other when there's a disaster. We would just help each other all the time, and I agree.
Yeah, yeah, having that unity, the sense of community, and helping each other out, and all the time would be a better way. I think some of that has to do with some of our technology and how our technology isolates us. Because you could have a computer, your phone next to you, you know, and you feel connected. You feel, oh, I'm talking to my friends online, I'm doing this and that. But your physical community, meaning your neighbors and all that, sometimes you won't even know your neighbors because we're on our devices and we're thinking we're connecting, and we are connecting with other folks and family that maybe live in other places and live across the world or other countries. But we also need to put our heads out of the phone and look who's around us. Say hi, how you doing? What's your name? Have spark conversations because and your neighbors, your local community, you could have builders, um, you could have gardeners, you could have all types of different people with different skills. And when something bad happens or something real drastic happens that we may need to utilize the gardener to grow, we could utilize the other persons with their skills and other things like that. Yeah, could come together like a small village and make things happen within your community. But it's good to know your neighbors too, and something like that we need to teach to our younger folks, our kids, because we have kids that feel isolated, like there's no one, but there's neighbors, there's people you could talk to. You know what I mean? You could just go outside and communicate, even at school with the after school programs and stuff like that. So you know, there's there's different things that we could do for community to build community. You know but even getting your young folks, like when you donate, take your young folks with you, take your kids with you, and show them about donating and how it feels and how it is to help people out, because it is something that we need to show the younger generation to do, to to build a sense of community and help, not only be about take or what's mine or other things like that, or so it's good to reach out of your own galaxy, is what I say. Imagine your galaxy with all the little stars that are all your family and friends, but we have other little galaxies around all over the place. Those are all people. And like how the universe works, we all spin around each other. We all working together, and the galaxies, they all work together, and then they form a cluster of galaxies that spin around other clusters. So Everything works together. So if we come together and work together, we can make things happen. I know I probably used a bad analogy right now, but I'm glad to see people coming together and helping out with supplies and making it a family thing. And I see other folks doing that, so that's pretty nice. Any comments, Britt, anything like that by any chance?
Kay said good whole shirt, bring together the community, and I agree. It takes a village. We got our neighbors. We got to know. You just say hi to your neighbors. It's not all about you. I mean, I think sometimes me personally, I forget that I could be rather selfish, and I don't realize that there are other people struggling with things too, and it's important to reach out and care about your fellow man. And Tisha would like to know, where is Mr. Davis? And I do not know. I do
Mm,
not know.
he's resting, Tisa. He's just resting, guys. Today, he was tired, so I was like, "Go ahead, go rest." Me and Britt have it. So he's resting. Um, yeah, but he's doing good. He's doing good. He's just taking a rest. Yeah, and building a community sense, even within our community, building our community is something that we love to do in Plan United with our physical events we do, like our spooky night, our ugly sweater sneaker ball. These are to bring the community together, to bring like-minded and light-hearted folks together, to show um, the blind community and to show sighted people, because some people came to I mean our ugly sweater event, and and they were amazed. They were like, "Wow, this is a lot of blind people," and they saw us having fun. They saw us, doing what we do, and they were amazed. And this is what we do. Even sighted people are welcome. Volunteers are welcome to help out. But we like to bring our community together, no matter what three-letter organization you might be a member of. We don't mind. We don't care. We're all blind. We're in the same boat. We might be high partial, low partial, but we all have a disability. And building community is something that us at Blind United we strive to do. We like to bring people together. We like to provide helpful tools and helpful Zoom technology classes for JAWS, or even support groups like for Dominic Martin. He does a popular group that we do, and it's a support group. And Dominic comes at it from a different perspective. He gives you even resources and YouTube videos you could go look at after the class and all that, and you can have an open discussion on the support group topic, and it could vary from topic to topic in different meetings. But guys, that's something we do within Zoom. We community built, even with our Friday night movie. You know, we people come in, we watch a movie as a community. We talk about it and all that good stuff. You know, even with our crocheting and arts and craft. It's another community people that love to do that. We want to bring them together and have that spot, have that space, within Blind United. you know um yeah. So wow, sorry, I lost my place, but yeah. So it's something that we love to do, is a community build, and something that um we need to do with our neighbors and stuff like that. And sometimes, we get stuck in our own ways, and I'm glad that we're able to come together and help the firemen out, help the people that lost their house, and also be aware there's people scamming in these times of hardship. So, we're coming to the top of the hour, and that um, I wanted to tell Brittany, any last comments before we go? Anything like that, Britt? I guess we don't have any comments, but it might be on mute, guys. But happy Taco Tuesday. I hope y'all have a great one. Shout out to the firefighters that still fighting this fire. Shout out to the people supplying clothing and all that good stuff, guys. And from Blind United, we want to wish you a happy Tuesday.